It's time for Law in Our Life. That means we have Gwangju here in our studio. She is a lawyer practicing here in Gwangju, but we are lucky enough to have her as a guest on our show. And Gwangju, this is your second season with us now. We're just starting the new season.
Yes.
Our fall season, and we've kept you because we want to learn more about the law. I'm getting a lot of feedback. A lot of listeners like this segment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's helpful. And I understand now you've made a Facebook group for this as well as the YouTube channel and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a whole lot going on with Law in Our Life and Korean Law 101. Now, what are you going to teach us about today?
Today, I'd like to talk about DUI, driving under influence.
A DUI. All right.
Yes.
Well, that's a big issue in any country. It's a huge issue here.
Yes, sure.
And that makes sense. Drinking's a big part of the culture of getting together and having some soju with your samgyeopsal. But then people drive. And this is a big issue legally as well, right?
Yes. In Korea, the violation of traffic law, especially DUI, driving under influence, can have multiple impact on your life.
Right.
The relevant repercussion of DUI can be found in administrative, civil, and criminal law areas. Today, I will focus on the administrative issues related to DUI, the suspension or cancellation of driver's license.
Right. And this is, for some, maybe the more paperwork section of it that's less serious than criminal, but it's still a big deal to get your license suspended or canceled. But maybe first we need to understand, because the standards are different in different countries and they've changed as well here, what is a DUI here?
So, like, how is DUI defined in Korea?
Right.
According to Road Traffic Act, Article 44, it says if you drive while intoxicated, then you are doing DUI. So no one shall drive any motor vehicle, etc., or a tram, or ride a bicycle.
Okay.
Therefore, you should not only drive a car, truck, or ride a kickboard or a bike under influence.
That's interesting you mentioned the kickboard and that, because there's all kinds of weird new vehicles.
Yes.
All these like electric scooters and these things that have like one wheel that people stand on and it whizzes them around. And, you know, I would not want to be on one of those things after having some drinks, but I'm sure some people are.
Yes.
That's still drunk driving, right?
Yes. Some people, like, after having a bottle of beer in the park, and they just think, oh, it's nice to ride a bicycle in the breeze. Right. So, but they're committing DUI.
Right. Can you lose your license if you're driving a bike?
But
and get a DUI?
For a bicycle, there is like no license for it. So it's fine. But if you hit somebody and if you cause bodily injury, then it can be a criminal case. Okay,
well, we'll talk about that next week. For this week, you said we're talking about the administrative side.
Sure.
So, how drunk is drunk? How drunk is impaired?
Yes. The provision 4 state that the threshold for the state of intoxication at which any person is prohibited from driving a motor vehicle shall not be less than 0.03% of blood alcohol concentration.
Right, 0.03%. And just to compare, when I was young in Canada, it was 0.08. And then that lowered to 0.05. And I think now it's maybe even lower. And I think in Korea it's lowered as well several times.
Yes.
0.03 is very low.
Yes. It just became 0.03 last year. Until then, it was 0.05%.
Okay. So 0.03, I mean, I can have one beer and maybe be over, from what I understand. Well, maybe not me.
It's possible.
I'm a heavier guy. But, if you had a bottle of beer, you could be over.
Yep, I think so.
Wow.
So as I remember, for 0.05%, it's usually for who has a body mass of 70 kilograms. And then if he drinks 2 bottles of beer, then he might be over that threshold, 0.05%.
Sure. And this is 0.03, which is almost half that. All right. Now, it became more strict. 0.03 is very strict if we look around the world. Why is it so strict?
The reason for strict regulation on DUI in Korea is the high accident rate.
There we go.
Yes. According to the assembly member, it was reported that there were more than 110,000 DUI cases for the last 5 years.
Right. And that's just people they catch.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people not being caught.
Yes.
All right. So how do things go if you get caught?
Yes, if you are caught by the police, you will not only face criminal charges, but also administrative orders. Depending on your level of blood alcohol concentration, your driver's license will be suspended or canceled for a certain period of time.
All right. Now, this is the law we're talking about, so I'm sure it's not just the judge deciding something. There must be some guidelines for this, right?
Yes. Let's say that it's your first time of violating DUI provision. If your blood alcohol concentration level is somewhere between 0.03% to 0.08%, then you will get violation point of 100. If it was a DUI without any accident or only involves property damage.
All right. So someone is a little drunk, they hit a stop sign, then
100 points.
100 points, and that still sounds kind of serious.
But if it involves bodily injury, your driver's license will be canceled for 2 years.
Whew!
Yes.
And that's 2 years without a license could be pretty serious, especially if you drive for a living or if you commute.
Yes.
But what if it's over 0.08, which is still not very high?
Then your license will be canceled for 1 year if it was a simple DUI without any accident. But if you caused property damage or even more like serious bodily injury, then it can be canceled for 2 years.
I see. Now, what about the people who say, I'm not going to do the test?
Oh, then you will face serious penalty.
Yeah.
So then you'll face the same result, cancellation of your driver's license.
Okay.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So don't refuse the test.
Yeah, that's a very important thing.
Okay, let's keep going. You said that was for our first time. What if it's the second?
Yes. Then it will be even problematic. If it's your second violation, then your driver's license will be canceled for 2 years if it was a DUI without any accident. And if it involves property or bodily damage, then your license will be canceled for next 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yes.
And, I mean, that's pretty serious. And I imagine if you drive while your license is canceled, you can get in a whole bunch of trouble. Right?
Yes.
All right. So that's not, this is serious what they're doing here, looking at canceling your license. Now, what else, what would happen then if, let's say I was driving drunk, I got caught, and so now I've got to go to court, like what kind of things would I do?
So if you're caught, then there will be like 2 issues. One will be that you will get a notice of your the cancellation of your driver's license. The other one is like you might be called by the police or you might be called by the court later for that criminal charges.
Right.
So today, regarding the administrative issues, you will find that you will get a notice that your driver's license is canceled.
Okay.
But what if you're, as you said, leave by driving? You are a driver.
Sure.
Then you can file a petition for administrative judgment, 행정심판, or appeal as an administrative lawsuit, 행정소송, saying that, oh, I did this wrong, but for my living, I really need to drive. So please cancel this the administrative order.
Right.
Because comparing the benefits for the society and the harms that my family and I will suffer,
right.
Like, just like we're lessen.
Sure.
So shorten the period of cancellation.
Because the judge doesn't want to kick your family out on the street.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I imagine those are hard to get because drunk driving is such a problem here.
Sure.
There's, kids getting hit, people losing their lives.
Right.
It's a terrible thing, and it's actually like in Korea, probably one of your biggest chances of actually being killed by another person.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like violent crime in Korea. If I was told like, tomorrow you're going to be killed by a Korean. I would guess it was a drunk driver. I don't think anyone's going to mug me or shoot me or anything. Yeah. But that's the one way they can get you. Now, people can listen to this online, right?
Yes. You can find this segment in video and my YouTube channel. You can find me by searching Korean Law 101 on YouTube or on Facebook.
That's right. And yeah, Korean Law 101 is a Facebook group now, and I saw you putting links to the videos there as well. So, hey, thanks for promoting the radio. We appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.